In the vast narrative of ancient history, few events spark as much intrigue as the Exodus. Picture this: a massive migration of a people, fleeing oppression, crossing a sea that splits in two, and wandering through the wilderness for decades. But what if I told you that beneath the surface of this epic tale lies a treasure trove of archaeological evidence and tantalizing theories? Imagine the dusty ruins of ancient cities whispering secrets of a time long past. What do they reveal about the Israelites' journey? Are there remnants of the Red Sea crossing waiting to be uncovered? And what about the enigmatic clues scattered across the desert sands? As we peel back the layers of this ancient narrative, questions arise. Could these findings change everything we think we know? How do historians and archaeologists interpret these mysteries? Stay tuned as we unravel the threads of history, exploring the intersection of faith and science. Together, we'll journey through time, revealing astonishing discoveries that challenge our understanding of one of the most significant events in the Bible. Prepare for a ride filled with twists, turns, and surprising revelations that might just reshape your perspective. When we dive into the subject of archaeological evidence concerning the Exodus narrative, it's fascinating to consider the layers of history that lie beneath the sands of Egypt and the lands of Canaan. Scholars have scoured these regions, searching for clues that might either support or challenge the biblical account of the Israelites' departure from Egypt. Among the notable sites, Avaris stands out, as it was once a bustling city that many believe could have been a hub for the Hebrew people. The evidence excavated from Avaris, ranging from pottery styles to architectural features, has sparked discussions about the potential connections to the Israelites. It's intriguing how a city, long buried, might hold secrets about a pivotal moment in ancient history. Equally compelling is the apparent absence of evidence for habitation in the desert during the period traditionally linked to the Exodus. This gap raises questions. If millions of people wandered through these arid landscapes, where are the remnants of their presence? Archaeologists have not found significant signs of large settlements or camps, which leads to debates about the historical accuracy of the biblical narrative. Some suggest that this absence might point to a more metaphorical interpretation of the Exodus, while others argue that it simply reflects the limitations of archaeological methods and the challenges of uncovering transient populations in an unforgiving environment. Furthermore, the contrast between the findings in Egypt and the lack of evidence in the Sinai Peninsula invites speculation about the nature of the Exodus itself. Was it a mass migration as depicted in the biblical text, or could it have been a smaller, more localized exodus? Such discussions highlight the complexities of interpreting archaeological data and underscore the need for a careful approach when drawing conclusions from the remnants of the past. The ongoing research in these areas continues to evolve, suggesting that our understanding of the Exodus may be as fluid as the sands of the desert. In addition to Avaris, other sites in the Levant have become focal points for understanding the Exodus. Excavations in regions like Jericho and Hazor have produced artifacts that some argue could be linked to the Israelites' conquest of Canaan. However, dating these findings to align with the biblical timeline remains a challenge. The debate over whether these sites confirm or contradict the biblical narrative adds another layer of intrigue, as researchers sift through evidence to build a clearer picture of ancient events. Lastly, the interplay between archaeological findings and biblical texts is a dynamic field of study. As new discoveries emerge, they can either reinforce traditional interpretations or compel scholars to reevaluate long-held beliefs. This ongoing dialogue between faith and evidence illustrates the richness of the topic and the enduring quest to understand the intricate narrative of human history as it relates to the Exodus. The dating of the Exodus is a topic that has fascinated historians and theologians alike, with various theories vying for attention. The traditional dating, which places the event around 1446 BC, has been widely accepted among many religious scholars. This date is often linked to the reign of Pharaoh Thutmose III, and proponents argue that it aligns with certain biblical chronologies. However, this viewpoint is not without its critics, who point to discrepancies in the historical timeline and the archaeological evidence available. Alternative theories have proposed a later date for the Exodus, suggesting it occurred in the 13th century BC, specifically around 1250 BC. This shift is often associated with the reign of Ramses II, a pharaoh known for his extensive building projects and military campaigns. Supporters of this theory argue that references to the city of Ramses in the biblical text provide a geographical anchor that aligns with historical timelines. This contention has opened the door for a more nuanced understanding of the relationship between Egypt and the Hebrew people during this tumultuous period. Moreover, textual analysis plays a pivotal role in these dating debates. Scholars examine ancient texts, both biblical and non-biblical, to draw connections between historical events and the Exodus narrative. Some researchers have pointed to Egyptian inscriptions that reference a group of people resembling the Hebrews during the 13th century, suggesting that a historical kernel may exist within the biblical account. This interplay of evidence and interpretation makes the quest for the true date of the Exodus a complex endeavor, fraught with challenges and differing perspectives. The implications of these dating theories extend beyond mere chronology. They also affect how we view the cultural and political landscape of the time. For instance, if the Exodus occurred in the 13th century, it coincides with the Hittite Empire's decline and the rise of smaller city-states in Canaan, which could provide context for the Israelites' struggles and eventual settlement. This broader historical framework invites scholars to think critically about the Exodus and its place within the larger narrative of ancient Near Eastern history. Ultimately, the ongoing debate about the date of the Exodus emphasizes the need for interdisciplinary collaboration among archaeologists, historians, and biblical scholars. Each new piece of evidence or interpretation has the potential to reshape our understanding of one of the most significant events in ancient history, illustrating the richness and complexity of the human story as it unfolds through time. The exploration of Egyptological discoveries has significantly reshaped our understanding of the Exodus narrative. Researchers have uncovered a wealth of historical records and inscriptions that provide insights into the socio-political context of ancient Egypt. These findings often highlight interactions between the Egyptians and various Semitic peoples, including the Hebrews. As scholars analyze these records, they begin to piece together a more nuanced picture of the relationships that existed during this tumultuous period in history. One notable aspect of this research is the role of the Hyksos, a group of Semitic rulers who controlled parts of Egypt during the Second Intermediate Period. Their presence raises intriguing questions about the historical backdrop of the Exodus. Some scholars suggest that the Hyksos expulsion from Egypt may have influenced the conditions under which the Hebrews eventually left the land. This perspective invites a closer examination of the power dynamics at play in ancient Egypt and how they might correlate with the biblical narrative. Moreover, inscriptions from the time provide evidence of various slave populations in Egypt, which aligns with the biblical account of the Hebrews' enslavement. While the direct correlation between these inscriptions and the Exodus story remains debated, they offer a tangible connection to the experiences described in the scriptures. As researchers sift through this data, they are compelled to consider how these historical realities could have shaped the collective memory of the Exodus within the Hebrew tradition. Additionally, the exploration of Egyptological artifacts, such as pottery and tools, has allowed archaeologists to establish timelines and migration patterns. These artifacts provide a material culture context that can either support or challenge biblical accounts. The more we learn about daily life in ancient Egypt, the clearer the picture becomes regarding the conditions that the Hebrews faced. This juxtaposition of archaeological evidence and biblical narrative prompts ongoing discussions about the veracity of the Exodus story. Fundamentally, the findings from Egyptology are not just academic. They influence how modern audiences perceive the significance of the Exodus. By presenting a complex interplay of history, culture, and religion, these discoveries encourage a dialogue about identity and heritage among contemporary Jewish communities and others interested in this profound narrative. When it comes to interpreting the biblical texts surrounding the Exodus, scholars are faced with rich narratives that blend history, theology, and cultural memory. The Book of Exodus itself serves as a foundational document, recounting the Israelites' liberation from slavery in Egypt. However, the challenge lies in reconciling these narratives with archaeological evidence, which often paints a different picture of the events described. One critical area of analysis involves the historicity of the plagues, the parting of the Red Sea, and the giving of the Ten Commandments. While many view these accounts as miraculous, scholars debate their historical validity. Some propose that these stories may have been shaped by real events, possibly exaggerated over time to highlight theological themes such as divine intervention and covenant. This raises intriguing questions about how much of the Exodus should be understood as literal history versus metaphorical narrative. Furthermore, the cultural implications of these texts cannot be overlooked. The Exodus story has served as a powerful symbol of liberation and resilience for countless communities throughout history. This significance lends weight to discussions about the text's lasting impact on social justice movements and their interpretation in various religious traditions. As scholars engage with these narratives, they consider not only the historical context but also the broader implications for identity and morality. In analyzing the biblical texts, it is essential to recognize the variations in manuscript traditions and translations. Each version of the Exodus story offers a distinct lens through which to understand the events and their significance. By comparing different translations and interpretations, scholars can glean insights into how the story has evolved and been understood across cultures and eras. Ultimately, the interplay between archaeological evidence and biblical narratives invites a deeper exploration of faith, history, and culture. As researchers continue to examine these texts, they contribute to a nuanced understanding of the Exodus that honors both the historical complexities and the profound spiritual meanings embedded within the story. When it comes to understanding the Exodus, taking a multidisciplinary approach opens up a wealth of insights that can enrich our comprehension of this complex narrative. Anthropology, for instance, plays a crucial role in examining the social structures and cultural practices of ancient peoples. By studying the customs, beliefs, and rituals of both the Egyptians and the Israelites, anthropologists can provide valuable context to the events described in biblical texts. This analysis can lead to a deeper understanding of how the Israelites might have perceived their identity, especially in relation to the dominant culture of Egypt. History also contributes significantly to the discussion surrounding the Exodus. Historical methodologies involve critically assessing written records, inscriptions, and archaeological findings to construct a more nuanced timeline of events. This approach helps to clarify the backdrop against which the Exodus story unfolds, including the geopolitical dynamics of the region at the time. By integrating historical perspectives, scholars can identify potential motivations behind the Exodus narrative, such as the desire for liberation from oppression or the quest for a promised land. Religious studies provide another layer of understanding by exploring the theological implications and spiritual significance of the Exodus. This field examines how the story has been interpreted within Judaism, Christianity, and Islam, revealing the various meanings attributed to the Exodus across different faith traditions. The narrative is not just a historical account. It serves as a foundational myth that provides moral and ethical lessons, shaping the cultural identity of these religious communities. By considering religious perspectives, one can appreciate how the Exodus continues to resonate with people today, influencing social justice movements and collective memory. The intersection of these disciplines, anthropology, history, and religious studies, reveals the complexity of the Exodus narrative and its impact on society. For instance, understanding the cultural significance of the Exodus can shed light on how it has been used as a symbol of resistance throughout history, from the struggles of enslaved African Americans to contemporary movements advocating for social justice. This multidisciplinary approach encourages a holistic view that recognizes the multifaceted nature of human experience, allowing for a richer interpretation of the Exodus. Moreover, the implications of the Exodus story extend beyond academic discourse. They also touch on contemporary political and social issues. The narrative of liberation and the quest for a promised land can resonate with various marginalized groups seeking justice and recognition. This connection prompts important discussions about the role of historical narratives in shaping modern ideologies and policies. By examining the Exodus through multiple lenses, scholars and readers alike can engage with its enduring legacy and relevance in today's world. As we wrap up our journey through the mysteries of the Exodus, it's fascinating to think about how the threads of history, faith, and archaeology intertwine. Did the Israelites truly wander the desert for 40 years, or is that just a symbolic tale? What if every grain of sand holds a secret waiting to be uncovered? Imagine standing at the foot of Mount Sinai, feeling the weight of those ancient stories. What if you could trace the footsteps of Moses himself? The evidence might be elusive, but the possibilities are endless. Each archaeological discovery could illuminate a new layer of understanding, bringing us closer to the heart of this epic narrative. So, what do you think? Are the stories of the Exodus mere myth, or do they hold a kernel of truth? And how do these findings shape our understanding of faith today? Dive into the comments below and share your thoughts. And if you found this exploration as captivating as we did, make sure to subscribe for more intriguing stories from the Bible. There's a treasure trove of mysteries waiting to be revealed, and we can't wait to uncover them with you. Stick around, because the next adventure is just around the corner.